That is recording.
We're good to go.
We are good to go.
Unmasked Man, episode 5, did you say?
I'm glad you remembered. We just
We
spoke about it. I'm
just said it.
glad you remembered.
This is good. Welcome. Great to have people here listening, watching. And I know people actually listen now because Amar took full responsibility for uploading. If I would have done it, we would end up having 300 episodes. They just wouldn't be anywhere.
Online.
They would be stored on a computer somewhere. I want to talk about role models today.
Yeah, you just said that.
Yeah, I feel this is a great conversation. Kicking things off, I think about my childhood. Mum was there, wasn't necessarily emotionally available.
Yeah.
In the way that maybe a child would have needed, because she was doing two roles because my dad wasn't there.
Yeah.
Which led for me as a young man, not really. Well, no, actually, let me reframe it. As a young man searching and looking unconsciously initially for role models.
Yeah.
And I would probably lean in towards my uncles initially. They were probably my first male role models. And then got into my 20s. And then I had a boss called Dave Wright. Hey, Dave, if you're watching, who was a really good role model. He gave me a CD collection of personal development.
Yeah.
And in there was Brian Tracy,
Okay.
Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, all these kind of people.
Zig Ziglar, I know, yeah.
Yeah. And then he said, have you heard of Tony Robbins? And I hadn't. And the rest is history. Those of you that don't know, I've done events on behalf of Tony Robbins and have crewed his events and have presented seminars on his behalf and have been a big fan. But I have probably gone too far into male role models, especially where they've almost become, I'll just do whatever they say. And now I'm at a point in my life where I'm unlearning a lot of what they've said and realizing how important it is to listen to the inner voice. So what are your thoughts on role models, whether that be parent role models, mentors, and finding that balance between
Public role models.
A role model on YouTube or a motivational speaker says this, so I should do it, versus, hang on a minute, check in first. Because, for example, I didn't grow up with, there wasn't people like an Andrew Tate around.
Yeah.
Right? Being the kind of connecting the dots the way I've just explained.
Yeah.
Would I have listened to an Andrew Tate?
Yeah.
Maybe.
There's no social media.
Yeah.
Now social media is different.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
So, like, my take on role models is different. So I think there's role models and there's idols.
Yeah,
I
nice
think
distinction.
A lot of people will focus on the idol, but they'll only ever see what they want to see.
Chris Akabusi's got a great saying. He says, the athlete, he said, I don't look up to people, I look into people.
Okay, so exactly. So
Yeah.
One of my idols is, I don't like the word idol, but one of the people I look up to is Kobe Bryant.
Right.
Why do I look up to Kobe? Because his work ethic. We spoke about this before a few times. He's a public success. Privately, what's he like? Is he a private failure?
You don't know, do we?
We don't know. So you only ever know what the media put out. So he's known for obviously a little bit of adultery, but he's also known for being a great dad. Made the mistake, and then obviously he's known for being a great husband.
Tiger Woods, great to idolise if you love golf.
Absolutely amazing.
Would you idolise him
His
maybe
public
in
life.
marriage? Maybe not.
Look at someone like, okay, O.J. Simpson.
Right.
Absolutely idolised.
You'd idolise him in NFL?
Killed his wife. Well apparently.
Allegedly.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So there's role models and there's idols. So Eric Thomas said something, and he said it one way, but I took it another. And it was basically along the lines of, look at the people who you want to be like, work in the same way that they want to work in. And I'm very much along the lines of that, like Mamba mentality, Goggins mentality, outwork everyone, prove to them that you're going to outwork them, stuff like that. Have you then got time to go to an Eric Thomas conference? Do you want to meet him? What are you going to get from meeting him? For example, like, you're a big Tony Robbins guy. I like Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
I'm not a massive, he's not like him, but I think he's a peer figure. Would I go and spend time in going to watch him? At one point I was going to.
Yeah.
And then it was like, well, nah, because kind of I know everything he's going to say.
Well,
anyway.
this is the thing. Like, there's a person that's coming over to the UK that I'm a fan of called Aaron Doherty.
Okay.
Got a 3D event. And when I've checked in with myself, I've watched so much of his content on YouTube that's very good. I've gone, do I really need to go to the event? Or what would be the point of it? To be a fangirl and say, oh, I love your stuff, even though, and now I'm going to hear the same thing for exactly.
Picture to put on your social media for a little bit of credibility.
Exactly.
Yeah. So role models like that, I think there's a lot you can take from them. Would I class them as a role model? I would say no. Someone like my dad, again, is he a role model of mine 100%? Would I be where I am without my dad? Absolutely not. My mum, absolutely not. You know, but are there elements of their life which, you know, I have learnt myself? You know, they've taught me something, and then deep down I've known, that I don't agree with that. Don't agree with that. But okay, when life then taught me something different, okay, yeah, but I agree with where life took me. So like you're saying there, like, you know, you wouldn't learn a lot by what you were taught by peer figures, role models. So do I believe in role models? I believe in, I'd say probably now, I'd say more I believe in teachers. So we spiritually
What's
believe
the difference?
Teacher will teach you a lesson and often leave your life.
Yeah.
They'll often leave your life. If you value them enough, you'll keep them, like your parents, for example. You know, they'll stay. But the amount of people, if you speak to, that don't speak to their parents, but have learned so much from them, for example, Goggins. You know, we refer to him a lot. You know, the Goggins kind of, did he despise his dad? Yeah, but did he learn from his dad?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I wouldn't be sat here doing this podcast if I'd probably grown up with the ideal father or the ideal mother, right?
So
Tony Robbins wouldn't be doing the work he's doing.
As
you know,
as bad as the lesson may be,
absolutely,
sometimes there's a lot to take from a bad lesson as well. So like with me, was my dad present when I was younger? He wasn't. Why?
But the work ethic and the drive.
Because that's all I seen from him. That's all I seen from my dad was, okay, when you're in the shop and he's doing his stuff and he's scouting the room and, like, you know, he's doing what he's doing. That's why I can do what I do, because that's what I learned from him. Did I, like, you know, but is he a bad dad? No, because he gave me everything. You know, everything that he could give me, he gave me. You know, did he play football with me on occasion? Did he teach me how to ride a bike? Nah. Does that mean he was a bad parent? Nah.
Tony Robbins has got a great thing for this. He's in a seminar. I don't know if you've seen it. It's called "I'm Not Your Guru." It's his Netflix documentary.
Yeah, Netflix,
And he's talking to a young girl about her dad, who's not the ideal dad. And I got a lot from this. He basically said, if you're gonna blame your dad for all the bad, you've got to blame him for all the good.
Simple.
Brilliant reframe.
100%.
Brilliant. And I think so many people, I have been guilty of this, will blame a parent for not being the full, complete, idealistic, impossible standard to hit. Rather than like, so there are values inside of me from my mum. Like manners, values, integrity, a respect for the way I treat people. Like these things are like I talk about, I learned public speaking from a seminar. I didn't learn public speaking from a seminar. I learned public speaking from watching my mum teach aerobics in the 1980s in leisure centres in Birmingham. She was performing in front of 50 people, entertaining them, commanding the room. That's where I learned public speaking.
But from a public point of view, they're going to say Miles the speaker. Tony Robbins accredited. They don't get that you actually haven't learned it from him.
No.
You've learned it from life. And there's so much more to be said about learning from life. Again, like the video that I did was don't forget the lesson you learned from the lesson. People in the moment, I find, will typically say, okay, cool, they'll go through some hardship. I'm never going to do that again. What do you do 2 days later? Because you forgot the pain that you were going through. You do the same mistake. That's why they always say the best way to make money is lose money first. You know, because you will never forget that pain. When you lose money, I still remember some of the things, and I actually remember the gut-wrenching heartache of, I've got to go to my mum and say I didn't do it. Or I've got to hide that from the kids and say, oh, now, you know, like they can't see the weakness. But deep down, like, you know, you're breaking. You're breaking, like, what am I going to do? What's dad going to do? You know, I can't let them see it. But give it a few days later, I'll go make the same mistake again. You know, like, and that's the difference between, that's one of the differences between becoming successful, you know, and you'll fail, but you don't ever lose the belief in yourself. So, okay, cool, I might have learned, I might have lost money, but the next day I might make it. Have I made as much? No, but the next day after that I might make a bit more, and then all of a sudden 2 days bit of work, and then, you know, it's all done. Don't ever lose the lesson from the lesson and the feeling from stuff like that. And that's where learning from parents, having heartache from parents, your dad missing a play, um, your mum missing whatever, like an event. They have things to do as well. Don't pin everything on them. I find that a lot. Like I said, again, I speak to a lot of people and they always say, "Oh, my dad was like this." Not cool, but your dad busting your balls
What's
for
the
you.
lesson behind the lesson?
Yeah,
They're
like
not seeing it.
your dad's busting your balls for you a
Yeah,
minute
yeah,
ago. Like
yeah.
you got clothes on your back because
Yeah.
he did the
The
9 to
outfit that
5.
you wore for the thing.
He did the 9 to 5 for your clothes.
Yeah,
He did the 9 to 5 for that.
Yeah.
Like he sacrificed his time
Yeah.
for that. But then all of a sudden, when you then make it, you forget.
Yeah,
it's not
funny, isn't it?
Yeah,
when you
crazy.
talk about role models and teachers and things like that, it's really interesting because I was having a conversation in Cafe Nero about half an hour ago with Sati, and there was a lady that works there. I wasn't in the conversation, I was in Holland and Barrett, but there was a lady that works there, and apparently a customer, a man, had said to the staff member, "You never smile, right?" And Sati and this girl, that lovely girl that worked at Cafe Nero, were explaining the conversation, and the girl was clearly a bit annoyed by it. And I said to her, one of the things I've learned is that people, or this is what I believe, it doesn't, a lot of what we talk about in this show is just beliefs, right?
Yeah.
Often we will get people in our lives that are a reflection of a lesson that we haven't learned yet. So, for example, for years, I would attract the same type of girl.
Yeah.
Because it was like life was trying to teach me a
Sally's
lesson.
Gonna kill you over this.
Yeah. Same kind of girl. They were girls that were, 3 or 4 of them were older than me, already had a child.
Okay.
Because it was me trying to get my childhood back, be the dad that I didn't have, and fix a hardened single mum that had a child, right? So this girl in Cafe Nero today, when she said, why was this guy like this to me? And I don't understand. And I said, here's what I think. I said, you can take it or leave it. I said, he's probably someone in your life has been like that before. And you're giving off a vibe that you haven't healed that experience.
100%.
So you're attracting that in. Yeah. People only treat you the way that you allow them to treat you. And if people treat you a certain way and you don't like it, then you need to look inside and go, what am I emitting?
Yeah.
Because I said your relationship with Sati, my wife, is different because you expect a different connection. This man probably is a man in your life that maybe was, and then you could see she was like, I could tell. I was like, is there someone you can think of? And she was like, yeah, I can. And and then it was like to be continued because she's got a tray, and I'm I don't want to fuck up this girl in the middle of a session. Is she going to break down in tears? But
I always do something very similar to that.
So the key thing I'm saying is, I think also there's so many teachers that are not like people say, who's your best personal development teacher?
Yeah.
People often ask me, and they think I'm going to say like Tony Robbins, and I go Natalie.
Yeah.
From Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Sarah from Wolverhampton, and they're like, "What do you mean?" I go, "Ex-girlfriends."
Why would you not say you?
That's a great question. It's a really good question. It's
probably you are your own teacher.
I'm probably used to talking about other people.
Yeah.
Because that's a thing within me where I've been spending more time now more than ever, reducing the amount of outside noise I listen to.
Yeah,
going more introspective.
You are your best teacher, because, okay, so one thing that I always do like that is, you know how you're saying it's like a reflection.
Yeah.
You try and reflect your energy on others. So when you reflect your energy on others, you'll notice it as well. You'll always get people come to you with problems. One thing I always find is with myself that you'll always try and see the good in people. I'll always try and see the business aspect of people. Some people aren't ready, then because they haven't admitted that there's an issue or they haven't realized there's an issue.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's where they come under the I think a lot of people say it's uncoachable.
Yeah.
But that's not that they're
It's really just unconscious, unaware.
They're not uncoachable, just unaware of the issue yet. Yeah. So what I always do is I'll say, okay, let's go. We're going to get you to this point, and then you're going to fly or you're going to do your thing. They're not ready to do that yet because they haven't taught themselves. So when you're saying there that, okay, you look at this person, that person is your best teacher. It's actually not.
Yeah.
You're your best teacher because when you're ready to learn the lesson, do you know what's going to happen?
Absolutely.
You're going to learn the lesson.
Yeah. Because all the answers that we need are already inside of us. It's about often being in an environment or hearing someone that activates it. Simple. But it's only activated if you're ready to receive the information that's already inside.
You have to be open to it.
Absolutely.
So a lot of people will say to me a lot of the time, well, because you've got here in life, you're going to know better. And I'm like, oh, you don't know that.
No.
You're judging me based upon an achievement, but you actually don't know. Like maybe I need your advice. Maybe something you're gonna say is gonna, humble me a little bit more, and then I'm gonna like, okay, cool. Do you know what? That's right. So typically, what I'll get is, when people will say to me, that, oh, but you already know that, and I'm like, well, I didn't. I'm sorry, I didn't. Like, but thank you for telling me. Thank you. Now it's on me to act on it. Give me the chance to act on it. If you want to give me the chance, great. If you don't want to give me the chance, absolutely cool. But you've actually done me a favor because you've made my eyes open up in a different way.
Yeah.
So just because you're successful on one part of life, obviously doesn't mean you're successful in others. And then, like, your eyes will see something different to what mine will.
Yeah.
We can both look up at the stars at night, and I'm going to focus on one set of stars, and you're going to focus on another.
Yeah.
We're both looking at the same sky.
Yeah.
Big thing, that.
Yeah. Something I spend a lot of time thinking about at the moment is I ask myself the question, maybe this is a conversation, is what, how the saying knowledge is power, and I often on stage say it's only powerful if you use it, right?
Yeah.
I say everybody knows what to do to get in shape, but not everybody's in shape. Common sense, but it isn't always common practice.
Yeah, exactly that.
And so for me, I'm asking myself the question like recently, which is what do I know, but I'm not actually applying? And I think it's a really great question for everybody to ask. So what knowledge do you already have that isn't being used? So what asset do you currently have that you're not getting an ROI on?
Big question.
Yeah.
But honestly, that's a deep question.
Massive, isn't it?
If you know it, why you're not using it?
Yeah.
So it's like me, I know that chocolate is not good for me, but why do I keep taking it?
Yeah.
For example,
Yeah.
it's like it's something as basic as that.
Absolutely.
Or something as complicated as, like work and career-wise.
Yeah.
That's a big question.
Yeah.
It's massive.
Yeah.
Why are you not using it?
Yeah.
Why do I can't eat chocolate? That's a question itself, and that will be either stress will get to me, and then I'll think, okay, cool, that's my comfort, my go-to, or from a financial point of view, from a work point of view, why are you not going down that road? Because you know it, and it becomes, okay, I haven't got enough belief to go down that road. I haven't got the courage to go down that road. What stops you typically is the fear.
Yeah.
The fear of life. Fear of life, I would find.
Yeah, I think if I answer that question, speaking from experience right now, right in this moment, over the past few weeks, my eczema's really flared up. It's been like really bad, not been good. And one of the things I've known for a long time is a lot of what triggers bad skin is obviously gut, right? Anti-inflammatory, And I've been eating things recently, which a few years ago I wasn't eating.
Yeah.
I've been having dairy, I've been having sugary things that cause inflammation of the gut, which then react in the skin. And this is knowledge I've known for a long time, but have recently not been acted on.
Yeah.
And so I was doing some stuff in ChatGPT, which is my new best friend.
Yeah.
And I was basically getting it, asking
That's the two things we mentioned most: ChatGPT and David Goggins.
Absolutely. Getting it to analyze basically what is the root cause of this. And basically I was having this conversation with ChatGPT, and I was basically saying, I know that the real issue is not the choice of food. The real issue is the current belief set is not right to eat foods that are good for my health and for my skin. And so I believe that a lot of people, when they're trying to make a change, and I referenced a few weeks ago this book called Psycho-Cybernetics.
Yeah.
So it's all about identity. So people that exercise here at Apollo regularly have an identity which says, I have to. Like paying taxes, have to.
Yeah.
The people that don't do it, oh no, and they make excuses. You can match up, I'm just going to use this as a stereotype example. You can match up the single mom with 3 kids that comes here because she has to, versus the single mom that doesn't come here because she doesn't have the time to. And the only difference is identity.
Yeah.
One has an identity and a belief set that is different from the other. And I've now realized the difference between applying knowledge and not applying knowledge is the belief that the knowledge is worth applying, and the identity that I'm currently living in is now outdated, and I have to now live as a new identity. So when Goggins talks about discipline, it's really interesting, because I went back to jiu-jitsu last week, and it was really great. But actually, I've realised my biggest discipline bell curve at the moment is actually around, can I be at home when the kids have got all their snacks and not have them? Because I own an identity of...
But hard, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really, I'm an identity of, I'm eating really well, that just flashed. I'm eating really well, and creating new beliefs that say I'm doing it for a new reason that's
Yeah.
yet to be, because I'm in the middle of this now, so I haven't figured this all out. But I think that identity bit, anybody that's, if they can say there's an area that, it's basically, if you're listening, it's pick an area of your life right now where you go, that's an area that's not strong. And what you have to do is go, easiest way I've learned is pick an area that is strong and go, what's the recipe of that area? So if somebody said health and fitness, strong, and they went finance, not strong, I'd say, so what's the recipe with health and fitness? Oh, I make sure I do this, this, this every day. So finance, if you could pick 3 simple things that you did, what would it? I'd check my balances every day,
Yeah.
and I would make sure I manage my expenses so they're lower than my, like it's like if all you did is, I track my fitness pal every day. If all you did, if you do that every day, is went to your bank statements
different.
and monitored the bank statements the way you do my fitness pal, you'd find that you're probably growing that area.
I say this all the time with fitness. It's not just about being good in the gym. You can carry so many lessons from here into real life. Turn up at the gym with your mates at 6 o'clock, be punctual. Go to your meeting, be punctual. When you come to the gym, you give effort. When you're at work, you give your effort. When you're at your job, give effort. No, what do you got to do to be fit? You got to eat right. Okay, cool. What do you have to do when you're at work? You got to think right. It's the same thing. It's exactly what you just said. You just have to carry the principles over into real day life. If you can win in a gym environment and better your body and your mind, you will also win outside, which is why I've said many a time, they should have something where like the government allow you to pay for, the government will pay for them. So the people that can't do it, that one thing, actually, that's a good question for you. What's your take on opportunity? So like you have somebody that's struggling, and then a lot of the time they say, well, the opportunity is not there. But you've got people right next door to you which are trying to better themselves and get out of it. So it is a belief thing. I believe it's a belief thing. But also there's kind of like opportunity cost. And, you know, when someone says to you, oh, I don't know how to do that, I haven't got the opportunity to do that, that doesn't apply to me. What's your take on something like that?
Oh, yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Because I think about like the homeless man.
Yeah.
And then I think about, and I know this is probably not the best example, but that kind of undercover billionaire that goes back on the street and figures it out because they've got the right psychology, or Donald Trump that goes bankrupt, loses everything in the 80s maybe, and then comes back. And I think about like a homeless person on the street, and I see them, and I see some of them that are the no judgment, but I see some of them that are the same, in the same spot, in the same town, asking for help the same way. And I go, there's a part of that which I think life is giving them that as a lesson, where they've become almost too comfortable in that situation. So they're now not seeing opportunities around them because they've just become accustomed to that level. But I'm actually, if you said to me, what is the easiest way to make a change? I believe if you gave no personal development, no money, no mentorship, nothing, and you just said they are going to be able to be plonked in the right environment. No knowledge, but they're just going to be plonked in the right environment, and they're going to be forced to stay in that environment for 12 weeks, completely different with nothing else. Like a kid in a gang in New York, put for 12 weeks, is either running his own corner, or he's dead, or he's in prison. Or you take the same kid, put him in Silicon Valley. It's like Trading Places, the movie,
Simple.
right? Put him in Silicon Valley, and he's either rose up or he's creating his own app or something, and he'll be a billionaire within 5 years.
But would you think that's more on the person? So the reason I'm asking that is because when someone says they're stuck in a rut, or they're stuck in a situation, stuck in an environment, I know my take on that is, well, put yourself in a different environment. Is it that easy? Like for someone that is listening and they're saying, I'm stuck in a rut, I feel down, you know, I don't want to get out of bed.
I suppose the first thing is, if someone's hearing these exact words, for them to listen to this suggests that they know they're drawn. Why else would they listen to a clip of a podcast of us talking about this? So there's something obviously inside of them that is true. So they would never hear this if that wasn't true.
Yeah.
But the ones that are outside that are not even aware, something has to happen where I do believe there probably has to be some divine intervention where something happens that makes them realize and jolts them out of.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, like, and they go, oh, and they're like, oh, I'm just seeing life differently now.
Yeah.
Where maybe they're a homeless person and they meet, I don't know, this sounds bad, but it's best example. Their homeless friend dies
Yeah.
of heroin overdose.
Like a shock.
And they are also a heroin addict and they die and they thought they were invincible on heroin. And now they're like, and then someone else they know died from heroin and they got lucky and they're like, shit. And all of a sudden that person 10 years from now with a different life choice, next thing you meet them 10 years from now and they're a campaigner and they've set up a charity and they've now got something called like Syrians in Coventry and they're now hosing people to get them off heroin off the street.
Because they've had the realization.
Because that person that runs that charity, I guarantee, was that person.
Well, yeah, because they've had the realization. And once they have the realization, they will understand, okay, cool, and you get the redirection of life. And then if you have faith in yourself and you get that little bit of belief in yourself and you follow the redirection, that's kind of like a great way out of it. But that's exactly what I was thinking. Like if you're sitting in bed and you're upset and you're thinking life's beating me up, it is just something as simple as either life gives you the kick up the arse or you give yourself the kick up the arse. And once you can do that, it will help you get out of bed.
Ed Milet talks about being the one. You've heard him talk about that. And what he just means is his dad was an alcoholic and was abusive. And he calls himself the one. What that means is,
I'll take him out. I'll call myself the one.
Yeah. He says he's become the one who has changed the history of his family. Healthiest person, most wealthiest person, best known person, best one that's added the most value to the world of has changed his whole family. And he says, I'm the one. Yeah. I changed the direction of what the Milet name means. And I hear that and I take a lot of responsibility for that.
So I always say, so people always say, well, that's really arrogant, you call yourself the one.
Well,
and it's their perspective, it's fine.
It's perspective.
But deep down, why I do it is because I'm the one that's going to show my kids the journey. I'm going to be the example for my kids to see, life doesn't beat you up. Well, if life beats you up, okay, cool, but you can beat life back as well. So that's why, like, that's a great take. Like, to get your family out of struggle, that's a great take.
And it's really interesting, isn't it? Because as a result of now being the one, the last few minutes, it now creates a new challenge, which is, like, I met somebody recently who she struggled in relationships because her dad was so good. She now has her dad as a standard, which is hard. And then I think about, I don't know if you saw this, but I saw Kevin Hart stand up during COVID where it was downstairs in the basement of his house. And he talks about going to a theme park with his kids. And they've got the fast pass lines, right? And they go and stand in the line and he stands in the line in the fast queue and his kids are there. And he turns around and he's like, what are you doing? And they're like, we're in the line, aren't we, Dad? And he goes, no, you're not getting in the fast line.
I'm in the line.
I'm in the fast line. And they're like, what do you mean? You go, you didn't earn this. You have to go, and he makes his kids
the lesson
go, and I'm like, that is powerful. That is so good.
Honestly, the lessons from stuff like that.
So good.
Lessons from making your kids cut the grass. Like how many times did your mum make you wash the car?
Well, we didn't have a car, but there were the dishes and everything, the symbology of it. In the house.
My mum used to make me do so much stuff, and like at the time, I'd be thinking, "Fucking hell, why do I always got to do this?" And I'd say, like, my sister doesn't do it. Why do I always got to cut the grass on a Sunday? I want to play football. And Mum would say, "You want to play football? Go cut the grass first." So now, like, as I'm cutting the grass before my son plays football, just got him a silly little lawnmower, make him lawn it with me. So I'm teaching him the same thing.
Nice.
It's like, one, I know that I cut grass nice and I take a lot of pride in my garden. And two, it's the same thing. It's like what she put in me, I'll make sure I put in him.
Sure.
Like that work ethic, like, okay, hook or crook, Dada can be absolutely knackered, but because I know on Sunday he's gonna want to kick the ball about in the back garden, I've got to cut the grass. Before you kick the football, you're gonna cut the grass with me. So it's the same thing. It just teaches them different lessons.
Powerful, isn't it?
But, honestly, so good.
The other day I was at the supermarket and Sage, we came out and Sage went, Daddy, we forgot to buy the man outside. She didn't call him the homeless man because I won't say it. We forgot to buy the man outside food.
Yeah.
She knows that if there's a man outside, we always buy them
Fine
food.
food, yeah, lovely.
We didn't buy them out. She had to go back. She had to go back in because she's every time we're at the supermarket, Sage has to buy the man outside food.
Mate, that's
And I
such a
just
good
think
thing
it's
for
such a
them to-
beautiful lesson.
And
Right?
kids are so innocent, like they don't understand. To them, they see the human. Like I think once we was in Bournemouth, I told you the story before, and I was going around and just I was surprised at the amount of homeless people
There's
there
a lot
was.
down there.
So many,
Yeah.
so many. But everyone was walking past them, and at the end of the night, I just put the family into the hotel, went and just said to Shania, "Because I'm just gonna go for a walk." And she knew what I was gonna do. And then I just went to the Tesco's, just bought like a 5, 6 bags together, and just went around giving them. One guy refused it, and then but he refused it, and he refused it with anger. I felt so bad. I
Did
was
he?
like, I
Was it a
said,
pride? Was it a pride thing?
no. I said to him, I go, I'm so sorry. Like, I just humble myself. I go, I'm so sorry. He goes, look, I goes, it's just a sandwich, crisp, and a bottle of Coke. I goes, it's nothing major. And then the guy was like, he goes, oh, you see me as a bag of food. And I goes, I don't see you as a bag of food. I'm so sorry. I go, if I've offended you, I'm so sorry. He goes, I'm a human too. And I goes, I know. He goes, how many people do you reckon just walk past me and throw money at me? I goes, all right. And I didn't get his point. And then after like him, like, literally Miles, he was nailing me for about a minute and 30 seconds. And he goes, just sit down. And then I goes, all right. And he goes, hi, my name's Harold. I was like, oh, he goes, just wants a conversation.
Wow.
Just wants a conversation.
Wow.
He wasn't bothered about the sandwich.
Wow.
He wasn't bothered about anything. He just goes, he just wanted me to know his name. And I was like,
Wow.
Harold, I'm a pleasure to meet you.
Wow, that's
And like,
heavy.
yeah. And like, I spent a solid 15, 20 minutes talking to him. And then I asked him, I goes, well, Harold, don't mind me asking, how? What happened? Like, he went into his life and stuff like that. But it's amazing where it's like, there's so many different elements of it from and that's where kids will see the person.
Yes.
They'll see, okay, the man outside, there's a guy there. Typically, I find like adults would just say, okay, cool, they'll do the good deed, which is the right thing to do. Give the food because we don't know where they're going to, or they don't know where they're going to get the next meal from. But how many times do we give it and how many times do we say, how you doing, man? You're right.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Yeah.
The next time you see them, it's like, yes, whatever his name is, hi,
Yeah.
Mate, how are you doing?
Yeah.
They don't get that.
Yeah.
They don't get that. And obviously they have their own issues as well. They have their own demons that they are battling as well. And when, like we were just saying a minute ago, then we never know where a simple hello might pick them out of their, oh, life's beating me up. Someone recognized me today. And the next time you see them, they'll be a bit more perky. Give them a bit more of your energy. And then, they'll give their energy to someone else and it'll just pass on.
And it's beautiful.